I really like coming to record the podcast because it's where I consume the most H2O in my weeks.
Yeah, I know exactly.
2 glasses of water.
In saying that,
Speaking of H2O, this is not H2O.
Hey guys, it's 3 drunk guys back having a frothy, doing podcast.
Oh, what a refreshment.
Got 2 green grenades and a Great Northern.
God's milk.
Why does it taste so much better at Harper's house?
I don't know.
It always does.
Because this is unreal, and I don't even like beer that much.
It's simply the encouragement that I've placed on the whole group about drinking beer.
You saying
it's
peer
gotta-
pressure makes beer taste better?
No, beer pressure makes beer taste better.
Nice.
It is beer pressure.
Put that on a shirt, hey?
Mate, it'll go right under the Whale Central slogan. Or logo. That'll be the Whale Central slogan.
Yeah. Well, we'll change our name anyway to 3 drunk guys, eh?
Yeah,
No.
true.
That's just a little shot at our friends at pretty much our sister podcast, I guess.
Yeah, well,
That's climbing quite a bit when we haven't had all that much to do with it.
you say that, but they're the most popular podcast we know that has mentioned us at all.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
Go check out 2 Drunk Mums. Don't vote for them, but go check them out.
Just vote for Whale Central while you're in there.
Yeah. Just quickly, I was listening to one of their podcasts today, and it jogged my memory. One of my friends I was talking to, and she said, all she ever wanted to do since she was little, kids want to be like astronauts and stuff, or all she said she wanted to do was have a family. And it got me thinking, fuck, people can be different. I can think of nothing worse than having a few kids at the moment.
100%.
Oh, at the moment, it would, literally kill me.
It's actually at the point where if I were to have a kid now, I'd probably top myself.
You know what though? You know what's crazy? I can't blame you. Seriously, maybe it's just because I've got 3 little brothers that are much, much younger than me.
Yeah,
but I
that
see
definitely plays a part.
I see them and I just go, fuck that. And don't get me wrong, I know for a fact if I was to have children, they'd be way more disciplined than them. But just fuck that. It's weird, hey, how
Little
people
kids
grow
give
up
me
and
the shit.
all they're aspiring to do is, people be a mum or a dad or have a family.
Good for them, of course, but it's so out of my league wanting that. I can't really even think of a future where I want kids at the moment.
I want dogs.
Yeah, I want a corgi.
You know what the worst part of this is? The fact that we all at this point can confidently say that we're not ready to have kids
Yeah.
already makes us better parents than some of the people out there who have kids already.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like that movie Idiocracy. Have you seen that? It plays on the idea, so he goes into a time capsule and then he comes out ages later and everyone's really fucking stupid because all the smart people were like, hey, before we have kids, all the smart couples, they were like, we've got to get our careers and lives on track first, and then they didn't end up having children because they realised it wasn't the best decision for them either financially or whatever, or it just got too late because by the time the man and woman had finished focusing on their careers, it was a bit too late for them to have children. Whereas you got all these dumb cunts just pumping out babies they're fucking going out of fashion.
No, that makes sense.
Quick disclaimer: Harper absolutely demolished a bowl of meagering before, and it stank up the room. And I think this is the most comfortable I've ever felt. Beer in one hand, mic in the other. This faint smell of meagering in the back.
You're going to hear some stuff today, guys. And on that note, actually, I want to talk about the network that we're on, TitanCast, very briefly, and what I want our relationship with them to be like. Because I'm talking to Joel about this. Now, if you're not familiar with the formerly famous British TV show Top Gear, it's still on now, just not famous anymore, because those 3 guys left. But they had a relationship where they're on the BBC network over in the UK, because I think it's British Broadcasting Corporation. I assume that's BBC.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, they were, funded by the BBC, a member of the BBC, and did nothing but give them absolute shit the entire time they were on there. And I really enjoy being on the TitanCast network, and I just can't help but feel as though we will be the first to go. We will be the first ones kicked off, based on the fact that we dropped the C-bomb at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
We like to bend the rules.
Yeah, we like to push things. We're like that cat that sits on your countertop, like pushing the glasses off the edge. We're fucking annoying.
Like in the again, this is giving them some shit. In the contract, let me put it in quotation mark. Like, I'm doing air quotes at the moment. In the contract, contract. In the contract we signed with them, it's got like, you can't say offensive shit. I said the other week, is Tourette's even a thing? Like,
Not one message back to us, like, we're all thinking it, obviously.
Yeah. We just had the balls to say it, and I'm annoyed that people aren't listening to this. Also, we've got some really good positive feedback. Joel got a message today with some more positive feedback, just saying how, people are enjoying the podcast. And thank you very much. Joel, do you want to read it?
Yeah, thank you very much to Casey Olsen. She said, your podcasts are fucking hilarious. Hey?
Do we actually know?
Yeah, I used to
Olsen?
work at Coles with her.
Oh, okay. Well, we're getting further and further away.
Yeah, this is the first message she ever sent me. She said, "Are you guys coming in?" I said, "Yeah, bruv." She said, "Yes, I'm so keen now." I think that was stock take.
Gross.
And she would like us to talk about Ivan Milat / Australian criminals next week.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome, because
Not a
I
bad
could talk
topic.
about Uncle Chop Chop for hours.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Sick dude.
He was, like, just touching on him quickly, that movie, Chopper,
Yeah.
year 2000, Eric Bana, unreal film, hilarious, great parts in it. I'm actually excited to go home, really do a bit of reading, and for us to have a good Ozzie Crime. Let's do an Ozzie Crime episode.
Yeah, why don't we do more episodes based on, like, Australian things?
Well, we should, because especially now that we're on this TitanCast network and we're the only Australian podcast.
It's probably because for us it's not a novelty. For us it's just like, oh yeah, that
Yeah.
happened here. We know about that. Whereas
Maybe
everywhere else, people
The
are
whole
like, oh, wow,
underbelly in Melbourne and that.
we actually should all
like
watch Underbelly, because that's a
God,
good.
it was good.
Yeah, those are some good series.
Awesome series.
Emu War, talk about that.
Yeah, that's a quality.
Not a crime, but absolutely hilarious. Yeah.
It was pretty interesting. I didn't ever know it when Aiden talked about the old hospital that they blew up here in Canberra.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when the little girl got decapitated.
Yeah, right.
But my tech teacher told me the original plans for that building, once they blew it up, was to make a fuck-off casino. Because at that time, Canberra didn't have many 5-star accommodations. They only had, like, the Hyatt and something else.
Fun fact, the Height's where the Queen stayed when she came here.
Yeah, I did know that one.
And also, you know how... So we have a suburb in Canberra, for those that aren't... For maybe the one or two of you that aren't from here but are from overseas on TitanCast listening to it. So we have a suburb called Manuka. And for our friends listening in Canberra, this might be of interest to you. So we have a suburb in Canberra called Manuka. Now, it was actually always called Manuka, because you've got Manuka honey and the Manuka tree.
It's spelt Manuka.
It's spelt
definitely
Manuka.
spelt Manuka.
Same suburb, spelt the same way, and Z is called Manukau. But anyway, Manuka. Then the Queen came, called it Manuka, and we've called it Manuka ever since.
Oh, wow, I thought it was the other way around.
Oh, maybe it was,
Yeah.
but either way, the Queen has fucked it for everyone.
Yeah.
Odd
God,
that.
she's kicking.
Odd that we're still in monarchy.
Oh,
My grandma used to be, like obsessed with, like, the royal family and stuff.
some people
Like,
love it, hey?
I really can't get
My
around
mum
it.
loves it too. My mum loves I don't know what it is, but it's some, like, dancing parade sort of show that you need to go over to Ireland and you buy tickets there, and they got, like, the big fucking
Oh, is that like the
Irish
big
dancing
Highland
thing.
Festival?
yeah,
thing?
something like that.
Now, see, that sort of thing I can sort of get around, because
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
at least like Irish heritage, whereas the Queen's just like British monarchy. It's not.
The British
Doesn't
monarchy
interest me.
bugs me, because all I know is at one point in history, one bloke went, "I am now your leader," and now all of a sudden, they're just worth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, you know what? Actually, I heard on I was watching this show called Have you been paying attention? And it's like, it's pretty funny. It's just on Win or 10 or whatever that fucking network's calling itself this week. And they were like, name the Queen's favourite place or something along those lines. And
it's got to be...
this guy buzzed in and he goes, that tunnel in France?
Oh,
And I was
no.
like, holy shit.
That's dicey.
And even the host was like, mate, let's try and keep it a bit under wraps. And I was like, that's fucking hilarious. Like, that's comedy.
That's a good guess.
Right there. That's
clever.
For those that didn't get that, that's a reference to where Princess Diana died. Oh.
Don't know why we're laughing, but
Nah, but everyone knows.
yeah.
Oh,
been
that
many
old
years.
bitch wanted her gone. It was an inside job.
There was a whole
Forget
series about that.
Mate,
Yeah.
forget 9/11. The Queen had Diana killed. That's what I'm...
We know the truth.
It's cool to think that there is like still royal family around in this day and age.
Please keep us on TitanCast.
They're American. They don't care. As long as we don't insult Crocs or fucking...
Triple G might
Big
care.
guts.
Canada, they're still part of the monarchy.
You nearly said Canada, didn't you?
Yeah, I
'Cause
did.
I keep saying it.
Actually, we got to talk about that. So for our listeners that listen week in, week out, Josh can't make it, but our next podcast episode will actually be a phone call on with Triple G. So they're our friends over in Canada. They're also on the TitanCastNet. Go check them out. I listened to one of their podcasts today. It's pretty cool because it's just a bit more structured than ours.
Yeah, definitely. If you like a bit of structure in your life, give them a listen because I think really good intro music actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really like that.
Actually, I listened to a few today that had intro music. I was like, we really got to get around it. And all I can think of us doing is like, Joe Rogan podcast, check it out. But
As soon as I listened to like the first 30 seconds of the thing, I was like, oh,
Fuck, this is
these
cool.
guys are way better than us. Like, what are we doing? We can't even compete.
Yeah, sometimes I listen back to one or two of our podcasts and go, fuck, we're alright. And then you listen to a podcast that's got even like a fucking B stick of structure and like intro music, shits on you.
I'm embarrassed to call us a podcast, really, at this point.
We're a fucking, we're a off-air radio show.
I'm pretty sure we're just three drunk guys.
It's true.
But no, so they were kind enough to so Triple G, based in Canada, they told me sort of roughly, I guess, where in the state they're from. So I'm guessing Toronto. And they were kind enough to reach out and said, "Hey, you guys said you wanted guests," and we were thinking, "Fuck yeah, we did." You got to fly over? No, we're just dialing in. But no, I reckon that's going to be really exciting. Actually, that's one of the cool things about podcasts, right? Connecting with other people and... Anyway.
Makes me feel so much better about ourselves and like what we're doing.
Oh, yeah. It seems like we're actually making progress or like something is happening.
Yeah, exactly. Like even if we're just expanding like fucking...
Our personal network.
exactly.
Like, it's worth it for the fact that even if we don't have that many listeners, we've managed to hopefully not only contribute to someone's podcast overseas, but also just have a chat with someone that far away. Like it's really, I find it really cool.
It's sort of coming back to like part of the reason that we started the podcast to begin with, you know, like making new connections, learning new things.
I didn't think it would happen
Having
this
a laugh
quickly,
while we're
but
doing it.
Exactly.
it's
or to this degree, really. Like I was
yeah.
thinking, like maybe a few people in Canberra that we'd never really talked to, like hit us up, but nah, straight
Canada.
to Canada, hey.
fucking unreal. All right, who's
I'm along for the ride today, fellas. So
I've got a few things, but Josh, you've got a fucking page full of notes.
Yeah,
so
my page has just been growing for like 3 weeks now.
I guess this is a question for Triple G. I was going to ask if Parmesan is popular everywhere,
Well,
but because I'm pretty
They
sure
have to
they're,
be.
I'm pretty sure they're Italian.
yeah, probably. Yeah, that actually leads me to a funny little bit of a starter. So the other night, the fellas decided to go into town for a bit of a feed, and so we all got in our cars. We took a little bit of a trip. One or two of us, in fact, got lost because of the misdirection of one of us.
Shout out Connor Gardner.
Terrible, absolutely terrible.
We will have to
interactions.
get him on the Dudcast because based on sense of direction, he is definitely the biggest.
He's definitely got the navigation skills of a fucking peach, honestly.
Yeah.
Just seen him play Minecraft, fucking me dead. Does a 360 and he's fucking...
Where am I?
Nang. Yeah.
At least a peach still works based on gravity. A peach knows where down is. I don't know if Connor does. Nah, anyway, so yeah, once we finally all linked up and got back together, actually there's a couple aspects to this story. The first bit that sort of reminded me of it is we went to this little place for a bite to eat called Hot Bite. Now look, it's like this niche little like chicken shop on the corner of just this little alleyway in at the Australian National University there. And for some reason that I still cannot fathom, instead of doing like a meal or some form of proper food, the main thing that they serve there is just a massive sort of schnitzel in a bag with some random flavouring on it. Like I had a New Orleans flavoured schnitzel, and like they've got like bones in it still. Don't get me wrong, it was crispy. It tasted pretty good for the first half, but by the second half, I was like, no, I've had enough of this. This is hard to eat. This is dry. Like, I'm eating bones. It was difficult. What was your thoughts on it, Joel?
I fucking hated it. I got a plum flavoured. I was like, yeah, like plum flavoured. That I normally get plum boneless chicken from a regular Chinese joint around the corner, and it's just plum salt. Anything that's not regular salt or chicken salt that they put into salt, it's awful. I've had cheese flavoured salt, nearly vomited.
So I'm just gonna quickly comment because I know what you're thinking, sitting there listening to this. Fuck yeah, big old shitty in a bag sounds unreal. This place is a fucking shithole. It sucked. Like I was looking at it going, you guys sell some gross stuff.
I got excited myself, thinking, "Fuck, schnitzel in a bag."
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, exactly. I saw it on the sign. I was like, "Yeah, I could go that." And then I saw someone eating. And I was like, "Fucking hell, the thing's massive. I'm gonna go there for sure." And fuck, I've never had something that tasted so sweet, but so fucking, I don't know.
It was just wrong.
Yeah, it's nearly like I was eating a plum out of someone's asshole. Actually, the more I think about it, a chicken's asshole. And this chicken's been dead for a few weeks. It was awful. But the ice cream after. Just around the corner, there's a little Asian grocer that do all your normal grocery sort of things for a really high price. And then my brother Thomas put us onto these ice creams. I've actually had one before, so I had a little chocolate one. And they're $1.50, I think. No, they're like $6.50. Fucking really expensive. The coffee in a can there is $1.50 and it's delicious. In my opinion, anyways. And yeah, these ice creams, they're just like the lightest, fluffiest things you'll ever taste. Taste like a Macca's soft serve, but like in a waffle. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, I did have one bite of those, and it was pretty good.
Not $6.50 worth, but
splurge when you can.
Especially for the ANU students who come over here from overseas and can afford to live on campus.
So now that brings me to the next sort of funny bit of this story. Me, Joel, and Thomas. You've heard Thomas on a couple of the Dudcast episodes. While waiting around for Aiden and Connor to actually arrive, we were just having a little bit of an explore around the uni campus because obviously none of us go to uni. We're all trades. We decided to have a bit of an explore and see what was sort of going on around campus and just have a see what people are doing and how it's all going and whatnot. And we walk up and we come across this nice looking building, like real high ceilings, bright yellow paint on all the walls, nice timber finishes everywhere. Looks fantastic, looks really comfortable. Walk alongside and apparently it's just like a student study centre. And we're like, oh, like we got to see this. Like we got to get in there and work out what's going on and just get a taste of what this university life is. And so we're just walking along, and someone's like, "Oh, quick! Like jump in that door there! Jump in that door!" Because someone had just come out of the door. And what we've worked out is you need a swipe pass to get in. So just quickly, like a little bit cheekily, we've stepped over and just quickly put our foot in, and then all of a sudden, all three of us are now inside this study centre, like meant just for university students. And it was great fun. We just went up and had a bit of an explore, walked up like 6 flights of stairs to get to the top story, just to see what was going on. And it was fun. It was great fun.
Yeah, it was a bit of fun. It was awesome. And then I didn't see the look on anybody's faces there where they didn't seem to want to kill themselves. It's actually nearly sad because was this pretty late?
Yeah, this was probably like 7:30,
and they're all just there in their regular clothes that you'd wear to school, just studying away. Some of them are like sleeping. Fuck. Doesn't seem like a good way to live, but
If that's what makes you happy.
yeah, exactly. But it was a fucking nice building.
Oh.
Pretty sure the whole thing's made out of timber.
Yeah, impeccable building, really nice.
Beautiful. In Queensland somewhere, they're starting to make high-rise buildings out of timber. So I think the theory behind it is it's cheaper and like more environmentally friendly. I was like, but where are you getting all the timber from? Fucking trees, mate. And it's still like really good fire retardant timber they're putting in because they let it soak in shit and it like hardens and becomes pretty much just like concrete. So
yeah, right.
What's our next topic going to be, lads?
I was just going to talk about art and design quickly, and just the fact that is it not just arbitrary bullshit? So, like, you guys ever watch those shows like The Block or House Rules or any sort of home reno show?
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know they get interior designers to come in and look at the rooms and judge them.
Yeah.
They're making up shit on the spot, surely.
It's like people who like flavor test wine.
Yeah, it's exactly that like pompous fucking aura around it. The fact that they're like, oh, I love the feel in this room, and it's like,
The decadent.
describe to me what the last people did do that these people did do that is somehow so much better. Like it just.
I love the flow.
No. See, I know exactly what you're saying, right? But the other day, me and Joel walked into to Emma's house. Emma's a friend that we play OzTag with.
Oh, dude.
And like, you know, I can't exactly tell you what it is, but, you know, there was like nice timber floors, nice timber like cross support beams. It was a nice shandy feel, and we did exactly that. We were like, we just want to like curl up in a ball and live in this room forever.
No, I totally get that, and I totally understand that, but sometimes, like, I can look on it at 2 rooms on the TV and go, yeah, that's a nice room. And view 2 is almost the same, and then have the judges give, like, completely different ideas on it. Like, sure, they're educated on the topic, but, like, one dude on House Rules just wears a ridiculous fucking outfit every time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I have seen that.
And, like, he's out there judging people's sheets. It just seems a bit fucked when you're wearing, like, this disgusting bright orange zebra looking fucking suit. Like,
The interior decorator's always like just a short bald guy with glasses. But
there's definitely one that does that a lot.
Yeah. And always has to wear something that just like it's either got fluoro in it or just stands out like dog's balls. But in saying that, back to Emma's house, fuck me, it felt like I went back in a womb, like I was meant to be at this place.
It was just a comfy.
Timber gives that feel though.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was
it does.
amazing. This house was freezing cold, and somehow I just felt so warm on the inside being in this house.
Yeah, it felt cozy.
It was like such a kind of like a lodge feel, but it was like a home. I felt more at home at that place than I do at my actual home.
Yeah.
And you got a bit of timber at yours.
Yeah, on the outside. Fuck, my parents love like stained timber and
It's good.
concrete.
Yeah, it is good.
It's amazing how nice we've made our house look, even though we've got shitty like Canberra red bricks.
I don't mind the Canberra red.
See, I reckon you've done really well. The Canberra Reds with the timber and concrete and stuff. It's really cleaned up nice. I really don't like the colour scheme of our house. That sort of beigey, not beigey. The sort of like camo green, light green. It's not a nice colour.
I'd call it yellow. if anything.
It's not nice, but I think we've done a fair bit of work to sort of work it.
I think it looks really nice because of the type of brick that's used.
Yeah.
Because the bricks on my house, God, it looked like a fucking banana ran over.
You have nice bricks in your house, Josh. I don't like. I don't know where your parents are at, but I don't like the I don't really like the colour of your kitchen cabinets.
No, yeah, and that's the green that runs around the entire house. Like that's the standard sort of green. Obviously, yeah, slightly different shades.
Yeah. Look, this
Fun fact: this whole room that we're in, and the whole external sort of bit, bar the door, just to our right there, every single brick. You know how on the outside it's got it's like a chipped face?
Yeah.
Every single one of those, Dad did by himself, chipped by himself.
Amazing.
That's unreal.
When we did the extension, they had stopped doing the brick in that form with the chipped face.
Wow.
And so he bought all the bricks, brought them home, and day in, day out, night time, we'd all come home and be eating dinner or in warm, cosy area. Dad's out in the shed with a chisel and hammer. Just chipping away at every single brick.
Dads are unreal, eh?
Oh, without a doubt.
It's like my daddy paid some guy to do a retaining wall in our backyard, like a rock. I guess a rock wall in the backyard. Took him fucking forever. And he finished and he wasn't happy with it. Like there just wasn't enough rocks. And there was too much just
concrete and stuff.
So he after he'd done, he got rid of them and did the last little bit himself, and just every rock's buttered up nicely, like all the shapes. The rocks flow. Look at us interior and exterior decorators now.
Yeah.
But just looks superb to what the other bloke did. But fuck, unreal. Dads, hey?
Yeah.
Aiden's dad makes a ripper kebab.
Fucking oath he does.
Whenever I think of home handyman shit, I always think of my stepdad. I don't think of my biological dad. But the only sort of really kind of cool thing that my dad did, I think, was make his wood-fire pizza oven.
That's a good one.
Which is it's not that difficult to do, but
it's a cool thing to do.
It's a cool thing to do.
Yeah. You know what's cool about your biological dad? Even I haven't met him a bunch of times, but when we went over to your house and he had the kebab machine going, he actually acts like he's a kebab shop owner, except with a bit more banter on his side.
Yeah, well, that's just... Well, I grew up watching him do that, because that's just what he did, owning kebab shops.
Yeah. Do you guys think it'd be cool to have, a family-owned business? You said that... I think it's a Westpac ad with the bakers.
Oh, yeah.
Ali, what are you doing? You know that one?
Yeah.
So, I can tell you from experience, it's fucking awesome when you're a kid, because you're like, hey, Dad... especially with wild parents, because you go, hey, Dad, can I have a drink? And he goes... Mate, it's your dad's shop. Go to the fridge, get whatever you want. I just have unlimited little juices and just
pop tops.
Just feed it. The breakfast that I'd make for myself, just using having a full kitchen to utilize, and all the food that is prepared for customers, for you to make yourself something. Even when I was just 12. Unreal. But it does kind of suck, because if you're working there though,
I'd understand if it sucked between it was good between whatever age, but between 8 and maybe 20 would suck, because the pressure's on and you're getting yelled at. But after that, once you've mastered sort of everything, I feel that sense of ease and this is ours.
I think it'll depend on it'd be sweet to have parents who run this business and love what they do, but as soon as they said, you're our son or you're our daughter and you now must inherit and take over this, or you have to work here, that would ruin it for you.
Yeah.
Whereas if they're all like, oh yeah, no, don't work here, go out and get a different job, experience stuff, then it would still be sweet. I think at that point people would want to come back to that family environment.
Yeah, you might even be entitled to take over the family business if you're not forced into it.
Absolutely, and that would be an important thing, right? If you felt forced into it, then you probably wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
If if your parents are more just focused on whatever makes you happy, then
everybody typically rebels against what their parents say. It's just a part of being a teenager growing up. Like I said in the last episode, how about how we share our experiences with everyone? Getting drunk out in the field isn't nothing special because everybody else has done it. It's the same with rebelling against your parents. It's just a part of growing up. It's part of being a teenager, part of being a kid, part of being a parent again as well. Like, it's going to happen.
Is it like? Do you feel like it's one of those things where you either go the same way as your parents did, or the same way as the example your parents set for you, or the exact opposite? Like, I've two separate, like, I guess, were mates, sort of old acquaintances now. Nothing bad, would talk to them, but just don't really see them, you know, grow apart. And both of them sort of grew up with single dads, and both of their dads were alcoholics. One of them turned into an alcoholic like his old man. The other one doesn't drink and just hits the gym all the fucking time and really looked after himself, at least up until recently. It, like, just covered partying a little bit, but still isn't off the rails totally. So I just feel like it sort of depends. Like, you either go the same way.
Do you think that's
as
what the
parents, or the opposite, depending on?
Yeah. Do you think that's what the parents preach while they're sober though? Like, do you reckon the kid who became an alcoholic, his dad was like, "Fuck yeah, gonna," like, all the kid ever heard was calling up his mates going, "Fuck yeah, let's go to the piss, my place, Friday Ave."
Yeah.
And then the other bloke was like, "No, you need to go," like, the other bloke's dad was like, "You need to go get a job and shit," but he'd always see him on the piss. And like,
I think that's very much a part of it. Like,
yeah.
One of them went, when they were sober, "Hey, don't be like me."
Yeah.
And the other one went, "Hey, I can't wait for you to come home and have a beer with your old man," type thing. You know, like,
Yeah.
not that that's a bad thing, but
I couldn't imagine a family member saying that to me, like, "Oh, don't be like me." Like, it'd probably be like pretty devastating, the realization that somebody that you look up to is like, you realize their life isn't all that. But then again, growing up and realizing them telling you, and how much of a blessing it is that they've like told you that.
I think, well, I sort of had that, right? So my biological dad is whilst actually a fairly smart dude, not very well educated. So, you know, he grew up working in kitchens, and now he just like has still into his 40s has a very physical job, even actually far more physical now than before. And he, growing up the whole time, just goes, and school's the most important thing, and because they just want you to have like a. But I guess that might be more of an immigrant thing than
Yeah, surely.
Oh. Yeah. Because I grew up, and now
probably.
I'm sort of more like my stepdad.
Yeah.
Really, like, I haven't even gone into the same sort of field now.
I've got a good question for you. I follow this dude on Instagram, and it's sort of like you get a real like scam vibe from him. Like, "Oh, this is how I made all this money quick. Like, shoot me a message and I'll try and get you a job with me." Like, sales dude, but he's from Canberra. Like, he went to some of the schools. He's our age, and I think he won like an entrepreneurship like thing, and he got like, I think he made like $105,000 in 1 year.
Jeez.
That's what he's telling everyone anyway. I have no idea how true it is, but then again, the next year he could have made like fucking 10 grand. I have no idea, and he preaches, instead of like working multiple jobs and being good at a few things, stick to one and be the best at one thing. I believe heavily in that, but like, the more I work, the more I want to have all these things up my sleeve. Like, I want to be able to do this, do that, instead of just being the best at one. Do you guys feel that? Or do you feel like you should excel in one category and then expand your horizons once you've done that?
Yeah, well, that's always the trade-off. Like, I look at it like this. I'm in a position now where if I stick with, you know, the trade that I'm doing for the rest of my life, you know, it's likely that I will specialize, and, you know, the company and all that sort of thing, everything will go exceptionally well to a point where I'll be in a good position. I'll be making, you know, heaps of cash and all that sort of stuff. And there's a lot of work involved in that. But also, I'll learn pretty much nothing else. And I'll be restricted to working as opposed to necessarily enjoying the benefits of that work.
Yeah.
Or I could, you know, get to a point that I'm happy with in my understanding of what I'm doing, and then go out and try something new. No, I won't develop what I have done to that same higher extent, but I'll still find fulfillment in learning a new task or learning how to do different things, or the new experiences that I find elsewhere.
I sort of view it as whatever's going to make you happy.
Exactly.
For me, I'm sort of like, fuck, I'm interested in too many fucking things to just spend my life focused on one thing.
Yeah.
Like, I want to have, like, my, like, fingers in lots of pies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want that, but at the same time, I think, isn't part of it, or at least we're always told part of it growing up, like, find your passion, or find that one thing that you live and breathe for. Like, you go to work all day and then you come home. Like, so I guess he's my step uncle, right? But in terms of a mechanic, right? He is a fucking brilliant mechanic, and then does that as his job. And he's only had like 5 different jobs in his lifetime, every one of them being mechanical based. And then he goes home, and then he'll talk about cars, and then he'll work on his Corvette, sort of thing. He lives and breathes it. And I'm like, fuck, that'd be awesome to have that. But then at the same time, find what makes you happy.
Yeah.
I guess at the same time too, there's nothing wrong with just being a specialist. Like, being a specialist is where the money's at, I think.
Yeah, without a doubt. But that's if your sole focus is money, then all right, definitely specialize in something, get to a point where you can live comfortably on the money that you're earning and do your thing. But like, I personally think learning new stuff is one of the things that I enjoy the most. Or even just getting, I actually sort of live by it quite a bit. I've never been super good at any one thing. I've never been exceptional at any one thing. But I'm fairly average at a lot of things, or I can perform to a degree in a lot of areas, or even just different things like hobbies, like whether it be a sport or something, I can perform in it, and I know what I'm doing there, but I'm not at that high level of it.
I'd almost say, I'd probably definitely say I'm in the same boat as that. And I'd almost say at a lot of different things, we'd almost be, like, kind of slightly above average, actually, at a lot of stuff.
We're all just,
we're
at
not
that athletic sort of stage, I guess, where we can be good at most physical activities.
But in terms of, like, learning a new skill, or learning a skill to you, like, fairly competent and then leaving, it was just sort of coincidence that it happened for me. But I kind of did that. Yeah. Like, I'm at a point now, like, after working under a builder for a year, like, I'll do little home renos and stuff. Like, I'll put stuff up, or we redid our bathroom, like, I'll do that, or whatever. Like, I can do enough stuff to sort of get me through that life bit. Now, like, I know enough to get me through life if I need to work on bits and pieces in my own house. And now I've gone into a totally different profession. But yeah, I don't know. What, like, are you guys in a position now where you think that's what you want to do? Like, do you think you want to be the best fucking plumber or the best fucking Sparky?
I'm at a stage where if I stick with it now, I'll most likely stick with it for the rest of my life and try and make as much money as I can, so I can have the lifestyle that I want and be, like, as happy as I want, because I'm so comfortable with my job, how much I'm making, what I have, what I can do, who I know. But I also want to fucking, like, just lock the door, throw away the key, and just kick open a new one, see what else there is out there, sort of thing. But
I just think there's also, like, we put, like, a bit of time pressure on ourselves as well.
Definitely.
Like, we are 20 years old.
Yeah.
I could work, because I'm in a position now where, like, I know at least, like, I'm looking at the other people around my profession, and I'm like, fuck, you guys know so much. You've been in the industry for such a long time. Some people live and breathe that shit, like I was talking about before, and they're really smart people, very hard to compete with, and I'm like, fuck, I really want to work hard at this and become really good at this. But I could work really hard at this, get really good at this, get comfortable over the next 5-10 years, still go on holidays, maybe even get a house, and then, or a couple of houses, who knows? You know, if I'm smart enough with it, and then only be between 25 and 30 at the end and go, hey, let's try something else. And I don't think, like, whilst you're like, hey, I could, you know, I might stick with it for the rest of my life, like either of you said, you don't have to.
Yeah, I guess when we get, like, get out of our 20s, we're not going to feel as old as we think we're going to feel. At this stage, I'm thinking, like, once I'm not in my 20s anymore, I might as well be in an old folks' home.
Yeah, I sort of view it as a race, if that makes sense. Like, I'm like, fuck, who's going to be the first person to finish their apprenticeship, and then who's going to be the first person to get, like, their first, second, third house and stuff. And then I'm like, actually, that's not what it's about. It doesn't have to be a race. It's a race against you. Like, it's just what's going to make you happy.
Exactly. We're the only, like, people running in our own races. There's no other people in it.
Like, you might travel the world when you're 19, 20 years old, party, look at landmarks, go to music festivals, have an awesome time, come back after 2 years, be 22, have plenty of time to start it all over again, and someone's already bought a house, and all they'll do is regret not travelling.
Yeah, it's sort of it's sort of like a hard proposition. You know, do you take time now and live and enjoy and do whatever you want, or do you commit and work hard now so that you can enjoy life and things are a bit easier for you later on?
Which sounds kind of simple, right? Like, it sounds like a simple trade-off. It sounds like, hey, of course I'd work hard now so then I can travel like that later. But I think one thing people often forget when sort of doing a matrix up like that is, I think, energy. I think the amount of energy you have as a young person, like, I might go out at 35 when I'm comfortable and travel the world, but I might want to sleep a little more, I might not be as athletic, I might not want to party, like, all that sort of stuff. Like, it's a very different experience that you're going to have.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to miss out on that experience that you're going to have, say you're travelling in your 20s, as opposed to if you're travelling in your 30s or 40s. I didn't expect this to be a real eye-opening podcast, but I'm almost like, fuck, money's just paid for at this point, like, where I'm at now. But
yeah, let's go to a different topic. I'm feeling a bit too deep in it.
This has gotten quite deep, considering we've all had at least one beer.
Yeah, somebody pull me out.
Alrighty, guys. I've got one that you might find interesting, might find a bit funny. I've definitely made comments about it before, right? So what if the entire world...
It's micro penis. Go on.
no. Well, we had some good laughs out of that last week.
That was a good one. No, okay. So what if throughout the entire world, everybody wore, like, headphones, or the entire world was, like, somehow muted, and every single sound conceivable actually just came out of speakers and was sort of, like, voiced by someone, or, you know, like someone saying the sound effect. So, like, if we're all standing in a room together and you can see me clap my hands, you know, instead of that sound, it would be, you'd hear it from a speaker, someone saying clap, clap.
Like all the old comic book movies.
So you're saying if everything was, instead of making actual noises, we heard it as onomatopoeia?
Yeah, pretty much.
Holy fuck!
And so, you know, you're
crash,
you're
like, so your pots and pans, like, you drop them while putting them away, and they hit the floor, and you know how you sort of, like, wince a little bit, like, you wince away knowing it's going to make this high pitched noise. You hear, like, crash, bang, smash.
Pretty much, yeah.
What would you hear if you had a handful of sand and you just, like, dropped it over on the arse end of a steel pot? What'd you hear? Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I
Or like you're out for a walk, or you're walking your dog and like there's birds whistling. Whistle.
Bark. Car honk.
Yeah.
Rev.
Car horn.
what do you do?
or even like just the voicing of the sound effects. Like the car goes by, vroom,
what about
squeak.
What about animals like a kookaburra? Like, do you hear that? Or do you hear like, ha ha?
Just a monotone.
Be like
Ha
I don't know what that fucking rock or heavy metal song is, where it's like, oh, wah. That's
Down
what
with the sickness.
Okay, I didn't expect none of us to know that.
Yeah.
That's a bagger.
Okay. Fuck. Sorry, mum. What about sex?
Clap.
Yeah, clap. You're in behind. Do you hear like clap? Well, okay. You're rocking it. You're rocking it, doggy. Do you hear like clap, 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 or do you hear like memes are saying at the moment like clap them cheeks, clap them cheeks? Like, how do you hear it? In the
Yeah. What if it
background?
was a
She's on top. It's
descriptive?
coconut.
Oh, that's funny. Yes.
What if it's a description of the sound? So it's like, you're halfway through is like pleasurable moan, fake orgasmic moan, and then you get
You
the
so know, and then you make the facial expression at them, and they're like,
Having sex and someone just says, like stirring wet pasta.
yeah, you have a person, right? So you have people.
Everybody has
But-
one narrator.
Yeah, everyone has a narrator, and then they're trying to work out what noises are. So
It's like
everyone's
charades
not.
for them. They're blind.
Hold up, okay. So this is a cool topic, but what's your point of reference? Because if you say like stirring wet pasta, but you've never heard actually stirring wet pasta because it's only ever come through a speaker, how do you know what stirring wet pasta sounds like? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. There'd have to be a period of life.
For the first 15 years of your life, you just hear sounds as regular.
Yeah,
And then after that, because I was thinking, like, what happens? Okay, another sex question. You're having sex. Go, in another room. Do they hear faintly? Like, do they hear
Someone
someone
just
go
whispers like clap, clap.
quiet squeaking in the background? Like, someone banging your daughter. Someone banging your daughter.
It's got to
You
be
like
like
can't barge it in because it's like an intruder alert. Someone quietly banging your daughter. Netflix asking if you're still watching in the background.
how does it go though? Is it like Joel says, like banging your daughter, or is it you just hear it monotone and they describe it quietly banging your daughter?
Yeah, but then depending on how good your hearing is.
Yeah, exactly.
Your dad's asleep down the hall and you're having sex with a girl in this room, and then he's got his door shut and someone's just at the door going, quietly having sex, switch positions now, about to finish, and pop goes the weasel.
He goes, tells her he pulls out. Actually didn't.
What about like sports commentators? There's the money shot.
Yeah.
That's insanely loud.
Actually,
and
imagine
energetic.
that. Sports commentators.
For
narrating
everything.
se- Oh, like, no, you're in the other room and you just hear covers mouth with pillow. Stifled moan. Stifled scream. So, actually,
Walking past an underpass. It's like,
rape a whistle.
yeah.
Bit of lock nose. Sorry, guys.
That's your
can taste
ASMR
that.
for the week.
ASMR this week is brought to you by Aiden's Phlegm.
I would have thrown my phone out the fucking car if I heard that.
You know what annoys me? Whenever people, talk about... It's really hard to bring up an example, but I saw it on the other day that this girl was in between, just standing in a photo in between two guys. I can't exactly remember what their names was. Let's say John, for the purpose of the example. And she said that she's in a John sandwich. No. If her name's Cassie, she's in a Cassie sandwich because the Johns are the bread. You don't say, "Oh, I'm having this bread sandwich and I'm loving this bread sandwich." No, you say you're having a ham and cheese sandwich. All right. People need to get it right. People need to work this shit out.
This is an odd thing to get mad about because it makes sense if she says I'm sandwiched between some Johns.
Yeah, that's why I disagree with you. I guess a sandwich is everything makes up. Anything in a sandwich is all equally part of that sandwich. So, but she is sandwiched between two Johns.
I'm so glad I
We're
went with
not.
John.
Episode 12 is going to be where the boys this week discuss what makes a sandwich.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. No,
Actually,
but
I heard a Gordon Ramsay interview today, just speaking of sandwiches, and he was sort of saying about how, like, regular food gets real snazzy when you actually make it French. So the French have a croque monsieur. We call it cheese on toast, like a toasted cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
They have a croque monsieur. Like, I was like, yeah, fuck, that's
Sounds alright.
yeah. I'd have me one of them.
Do you guys like crickets? Like the stuffed bit of
Yeah,
deep fried whatever.
yeah, I like
it's
it.
just like a deep fried spring roll or dim sum sort of thing, isn't it?
No,
No,
Or is it like a chico roll?
kinda. Getting closer.
yeah,
Warmer.
it's sort of like.
Well,
Is it stuffing? It's essentially
Stuffing. I'd
Stuffing.
say stuffing.
A chico roll is just an Australian version of a spring roll, and bigger.
it's just cabbage, isn't
I
it?
used to love
Yeah,
them.
pretty much.
I used
I
to
still
love
rate
them.
'em.
Especially the ends.
Yeah.
Bite off the ends. Delicious. I had one the other day. Probably the one I bought, but fucking hell.
I'm fairly
Could have been better.
Yeah, I mean, it probably depends on whether you had them as a kid or not. That was the thing. You'd drive around and you'd go to a servo and get a chico roll. That was
I think my first chicken roll was probably in 2017.
oh wow,
Wow.
my god.
That's the most foreign thing you've ever said. I went to Elaine's bakery on Tuesday. Got a Mexican pie and a beef strog potato top.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. Lovely pies. You should go there on Tech Days. Fish week.
Meat pies are a bit of a fun topic.
Absolute delicacy,
Oh.
honestly. Like,
In Australia, everybody has a meat pie. Everybody loves a meat pie. Everybody knows what a meat pie is at the very least.
It's Australia, I think it's the UK, and I think it's also NZ. Well, I know it's NZ as well.
it's amazing because it's perfect for brekkie, perfect for lunch,
Perfect for dinner.
perfect for dinner.
You
The
actually
only
can't go
difference
wrong.
is you need two depending on which meal it is.
Exactly.
It's real hard, hey, because I remember, like, it's pretty frequent, like, two pies is too much, one isn't enough. Like, I don't think two pies is too much now, but...
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you got what's your favourite pie? Do you guys
Chunky
rate chicken?
Nah, I'm not a fan of chicken pies.
Get the fuck out of that, mate.
Actually, it depends. Like, yeah, see, that's a toughie because I've had really good chicken pies and I've had really bad chicken pies.
I like a
I
good
don't-
chicken leg pie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get it over like a steak, cheese and bacon, but
Chunky steak. I actually don't like beef mince pies.
I don't like the chunky.
Wow.
No,
Okay, you
That's
just...
a toughie because both can be equally good or equally bad. It depends on whether they're done right.
Nah, okay, so I'm just going to say...
Fuck you, Harper. Let's get down to business.
Okay, so you don't like chunky steak,
Yep.
and I don't like minced beef.
Mm-hmm.
Talk me through that. What the fuck? First of all,
All right,
I
I'll
just
talk you
wanna-
through
I
it.
just want to lead with the fact that Joel doesn't actually like steak.
Hey,
And
my mum.
for your mum cooked it the other day, and you really liked it. I know.
Yeah, because she didn't cook it like Dad likes it, and it wasn't dry as fuck. It wasn't burnt. Didn't taste like I was gnawing on a fucking elephant's foot.
That's actually That's actually how we know your old man's a hard man.
Yeah.
The fact that he likes his steak like charcoal.
Either that or he's just petrified of like salmonella and food poisoning.
So,
Well,
beef mince. You give your for argument.
I like soggy foods. Beef mince is soggy. I've never had a fucking
You sure
a
it's not
dry.
sloppy?
I've never had a dry beef mince pie. I've only ever had a dry chunky steak because they don't put enough gravy in it.
You're a piece of shit. Like, seriously, you're the biggest piece of shit.
If you want me to talk you through it, Aiden, I'm right. You're wrong. There you go, mate.
Mate, you
Let's
were
talk
asking
through.
for the biggest fucking punch in the head.
I feel like I need to start taking notes. I gotta like write down
Okay,
pros and
so-
cons for each.
No. Okay, so chunky steak. Let's assume you get the best of both. Okay, here's what I'll concede. I'll say the best chunky steak pie is better than the best beef mince pie because there's so little room to move. Like, the difference between the best beef mince pie and the worst beef mince pie, very little. Big gap between the best chunky steak. Like, if you just have tender, melt in your mouth steak with a perfect, even a red wine gravy throughout this beef pie.
Now we're talking about a different fucking flavoured pie. Of
Okay,
course
get
you're
rid
gonna
of the
win.
red wine. Get rid of the... Just have the regular fucking gravy.
Yeah, there we go.
Either way, that shit's... So, okay, Red Hill Butcher, right? They use real bits of steak from, like, offcuts. I think they use... They might even use Scotch fillet. Mate, they slow cook it. It melts. It just pulls apart in the pie. It's perfect. Little bit of tea sauce on that bad boy, you're in business. But you know what? Because it's a chunky steak, you can have it with barbecue, wouldn't fucking matter. You have your beef mince shit. This gross little grainy, can't be
Oh,
anything...
so now we're talking about the shittest beef mince pie versus the best fucking
Okay, get
chunky
your
steak.
best beef mince pie. Either way, it's beef mince, mate. It's not going to be that perfect, tender, fall apart sort of beef.
Doesn't
because
need to
it's
fall
small
apart.
and
It's already
grainy.
apart, mate.
No, it's not, mate. Fucking, you don't like well done steak, but I bet you one thing. I bet you don't like fucking medium rare mince. Nah, it's got to be cooked all the way through. That's fucked. And I don't like well done shit. You're a piece of shit.
No, you're wrong. All
Nah,
right? you're
not-
fucking wrong.
I'm not wrong, mate.
Go back to your country, all right, and fucking stick to your little grains or whatever the fuck.
I
you
was
farm
born
over there.
here. Probably the same fucking hospital as you.
Yeah, you probably got fucking born in the Arab wing, though.
I'm not even Arab. All right.
Fucking close enough. Dirt's dirt, isn't it?
Fuck.
TitanCast, goodbye.
Okay, I have heritage from the Middle East. It makes it okay.
I don't know that it does.
I don't
It's
know that
like
it does, and I don't know
Aboriginals,
that
I've been
Turkey's
accepted.
technically Middle East, even. All right,
It's not here.
I wanted to talk
Love
to you guys
God's
about
country.
something
Whoa,
else.
whoa. If you think we're done talking about meat pies, you've got another thing fucking coming.
All right, let's fucking chat about meat pies. Harper, where do you stand?
Mate, I reckon the best meat pie you're going to get...
If you say anything other
Is
than
a curry.
No.
Go home.
No.
I'd,
No.
I'd rip that fucking man
Best
bun
meat
right
pies
off
you get is a good, like a well done potato pie, and
So-
that's not necessarily just potato like in the pie, because that can be done really well as well.
No, a potato top pie.
Yeah, potato top pie.
I totally agree. I love a potato top or shepherd's pie. Underneath that pie,
different,
imagine how
different, very different.
Yeah, I know. I said potato top or a shepherd's pie, and a shepherd's pie happens to have a potato top.
Does you're
With
Yeah.
a bit of cheese on it, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, all right. Imagine regular potato top pies with cheese on it.
been done, really good.
Yeah.
Can
Okay.
confirm.
So, quickly, imagine how good, Josh, a potato top pie would be if it had chunky steak underneath it.
had it
And
pretty good.
versus beef mince.
Also had pretty good ones.
See,
I don't think
when
you're
we-
really bitching
no,
this, hey?
no.
Guys, I've had quite a lot of meat pies, and it depends. Bakery to bakery, baker to baker, time of day to time of day. A meat pie can,
I still.
there's a thousand things that can
I love a
change it.
good bit of tender melt in your mouth steak with a bit of potato. It's a good combination. But when we're talking potato top pie, there's nothing worse than a dry bit of potato. So what's the best thing for that? Some gravy.
Yeah.
And where do you get more gravy? In a mince pie.
See, I disagree because there's actually, I think, volume of meat to gravy. Probably more meat in a mince pie. Would you not say?
Yeah, but your ratio still.
I've never had a beef like chunky steak pie with not enough gravy.
Have you really not?
No, because I just pick my bakery, mate. I can look at a good pie, and if I know it's going to be shit, I don't buy it. I'm not a fucking twat. You tell me right now. Nah, Josh, you're the fucking deciding vote. Best chunky steak pie versus best beef mince pie. What's the best pie?
It's all in the pastry.
Oh,
Yeah, at that point it comes down to the pastry. You gotta-
Okay. equal pastry.
Equal pastry.
Assume they've got equal pastry.
You're putting me under some pressure here.
Yeah, I know. And you better fucking give the right answer. Who's scarier, Joel or myself?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
You heard the big bit of phlegm. I'll spit it at you. It's still sitting there.
I don't know. This is a tough
I
question.
swallowed it, guys. Don't worry.
This is what the politicians need to be
Well,
working
bring it
out.
back up.
What is better? Let's put it to the people.
Absolutely.
Wales Central listeners,
Put a poll on.
vote in.
We're gonna
We're going to know.
end the episode here, and we're gonna make a poll.
Actually, I as much as I'd like that, I did have one more topic if we wanted to.
I
Yeah.
also have heaps to
Fuck.
talk about if
Wait.
we want.
We'll end it here, and we'll record another one because it's only 7:30.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's been episode 11 because we had a
Hang
Dunkcast.
on. Let's just get some clear parameters around this meat pie issue. All right.
All right.
We're
Everyone needs to
assuming-
assume equal pastry. Everyone needs to assume equal pastry.
Equal pastry,
Same gravy recipe.
good and appropriate level of gravy to pastry ratio. All right.
And same gravy.
And also quality meats and materials used. All right.
Just think of the best pie plain steak pie you've ever had, and then just think, fuck, would it have been better as mince or chunky?
Yeah, the only thing that we want to know the difference between is the chunky steak.
Actually,
and the
I
beef
just want to
mince.
rephrase the way Joel's put it because he's put it in his favour. Think of the best chunky steak pie you've ever had and think, would I have liked that chunky, tender, melt in your mouth steak in grady little well done bits of mince?
I'm cutting that.
No, you're fucking not.
I'm cutting that.
Mate, I'll punch you fucking... Mate, that's quality content right there. I don't care if it's not your favourite. It's fucking hilarious.
This is
Keep
the
it
best.
in.
This is the best topic we've ever discussed.
Meat pies, it's a fucking blower.
We have another 2 on it. We're gonna have a season of meat.
Oh, this is the.
Wait, no, we should vlog us trying meat pies.
That's exactly what we're gonna do.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay, get the fucking man.
All right,
Let's go.
so
Man.
on this poll, you're gonna vote
Chunky
mince
steak
or
beef
chunky.
mince. Oh, I can't believe you challenged me to this.
And then what we're going to do, what you're going to do is you're going to tell us your favourite bakery. We're going to put it down and we're going to visit the most popular bakeries that we've been sent.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep them between Sydney and Melbourne and Canberra. I'm willing to travel.
Try to at least.
I'm willing to travel near and fucking far. Actually, no, just keep it in Oz. Keep it in. Nah, you know what?
Worldwide.
Southern Hemisphere. I was going to say Southern Hemisphere. Nah, yeah. Actually, we might as well swing over to Canada and do this podcast with Triple G. Yeah, fuck it, worldwide.
Everybody, let us know the best meat pies. Give us a good comparison and good, vote between your chunky steak and your beef mince. We want to know. There's going to be more episodes on meat pies because we haven't even scratched the surface here. Oh man,
Obviously,
I'm so excited.
If you
I can't
vote,
believe Wales Central has turned into a meat pie podcast.
Obviously-
meat pies, which I wasn't even a fan of until probably
that's
the last...
why he's fucking.
Hold on, the last...
You don't even like meat pies.
until the last probably... I want to say the last 8 years of my life, I've enjoyed meat pies. And it started with chunky steak. God's pie.
All right, so no, see, that's a nostalgia factor.
No, it didn't. Because I had beef mince pies and that's what put me off because I didn't like the grainy texture.
You
A
eat
chunky
the
steak
wrong
brought
mince
me
pie,
back.
mate.
No, but that's
I
exactly what I'm saying.
thought you said they were all great, mate.
Like you said, the fucking range for fuck up to best is pretty small. So they're all
Yeah, exactly. But the best beef mince pie you're going to get is only going to be 60% of what it could be. Like, it's like a 60% to 40% on the spectrum. And then you have your chunky steak,
Mate,
which
you're
are like
fucking on the
70 to
spectrum
100.
somewhere.
I was waiting for that one.
Mate, exactly. That's how I remember.
All right, so when you
well
vote for
that-
chunky steak, please message us and give us your reasoning because obviously you're fucking delusional.
Joel, I will fuck you with scissors. I want you to know. I will...
Just a little disclaimer. For anyone who says anything along the lines like meat pies suck or they're shit or that, something along those lines,
I'll fucking track you down.
please admit yourself to a mental hospital because that sort of shit is just not on.
You will find a
alright?
rock through your window.
Actually,
Whoa.
just quickly, just for friends on, let's say, the TitanCast network or whatever, do Americans do meat pies? I think they only do, like, sweets, don't they?
Quite typically, they do things like fruit mince pies and, apple pies, blueberry pies.
I reckon a blueberry pie would be delicious. I don't think I've had, like, a proper one.
I have had some good fruit pies, don't get me
It's
wrong.
Fruit.
Yeah,
Joel
Joel's out here.
doesn't
Joel's got no steak.
He doesn't do fruit and dessert. How can we take the opinion of a man like that?
Oi, Joel's got no steak in these pies.
That was funny. All right, guys, please vote on the fucking poll. Love you guys.
Way off Central. Thanks for listening, guys.
See yous.
That was a TitanCast episode.